Omega, it's Hera. You have to come back to Ryloth.
Isn't she the kid from the weapons drop?
Hera?
The Empire's taken my parents, and they are after me now too. I'm sending coordinates. Please hurry. I need your help.
You gave her our comm channel.
For emergencies, and that sounded pretty urgent. We have to go.
Perhaps the situation is not as dire as described. Children often overreact.
No, we don't. You heard her. She needs us.
Omega.
She needs us.
I was going to do it, and you beat me to it. What is up, everybody? It is your boy, it's Konkon, back at it again. And a returning guest,
Roberto.
See, you need to roll the R more, bro. They just need to full send it into the...
Roberto.
I was going to say, like, Hispanicism. Just full send the Hispanicism.
I don't know if that's racist or not, but I'll take it.
I
That's
love
fine.
you. It can't be racist.
Yeah, it can't be racist.
Come on. What, guys? I threw myself off. Guys, thank you for joining us this week on Konkon's Cantina. We got a little bit of a long one. Look, life has been getting in the way. Mainly Justin's lazy handicap self. He's not here to defend himself.
His arms don't want to work.
And if he was here, let's be honest, he can't defend himself. That joke is never going to get old. I'm sorry. Sorry, dude. You're not here. And it's okay. Justin had a rough day at PT, so he wasn't able to make it. Hope that you feel better tonight, man. Hope you end up...
much love.
Yeah, hope you have a good weekend. Me and Roberto will be talking about episodes 12, 13, and 14 of Bad Batch.
Is it really a long one if the last two episodes were like, eh?
Well, the
Sure.
14.
Well, 14 was,
I think 12 is good. Remember, we have the rescue on Ryloth. That was the clip that you just heard.
Yep.
And we're going to get into that. Then we have episode 13, Infested. And episode 14, I think, was a step in the right direction. I think my biggest concern still is kind of like... I feel like we've moved too slow to the end goal. Like, we have 2 episodes
really
left.
Dragged.
Yeah, I like especially 13. And that's a pacing thing. It's not like a complaint of like, oh, this is garbage or this is trash.
No, I don't say it's garbage or trash. I
Yeah.
just think the pace was really, really slow.
Yeah, the pace was definitely slow. But guys, thank you for joining us this week. And of course, before we get into some housekeeping.
Welcome to Konkon's Cantina. Grab a drink, sit back, and relax.
Dude,
We back,
dude,
No,
that, dude, that intro music gets me so hyped. I love it.
I just bounced with that.
Did you see the Pokemon video that I did?
I didn't get a chance yet.
There's a new synthwave music, like royalty free, that I found to use for that one.
Ooh.
Bro, the music's hype.
Really?
Like, I could play it right now. I'll play it for you later. It's
Okay, cool.
really good. It's really good. But guys, once again, housekeeping. You already know social media at the following: Instagram, all that stuff. Konkon's Cantina. This episode is brought to you by our Patreon. So guys, everybody, we do have a Patreon. It definitely, everything goes to helping the show. We use SoundCloud as our hosting site. We pay that yearly. We do have some merch. Check that out. We do have some rec shirts left. Go check the Instagram. Roberto, you have our rec shirt.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
If you haven't,
tell the people.
oh my
Tell
God.
the people.
First of all, the material, high
Yeah.
quality. Like, seriously.
Appreciate that.
I have really good quality.
Tell the people.
Totally, you should buy it. If you haven't bought it, then you're not a fan.
We have limited sizes in the recs.
Right. That was my favorite, the Rex one.
Yeah, the Rex
Good
one.
shoulder.
Yeah,
good. What is it?
Good soldiers follow orders. Yeah.
Follow orders,
We
yeah.
we need to make more, but man, we learned so much about t-shirt making, and it is not cheap.
No, it is not.
Especially the kind of like what goes into the shirts, like the quality of shirt. We definitely learned a lot, and we would definitely do things differently when we come out with more shirts, and we do have some more shirts.
Yeah, people don't realize how much just adding those layers of colors,
Dude,
how much
yeah.
they cost.
And that's what gets you,
Yeah.
is the layers of color. And it's hard because me and Justin are both like big t-shirt guys, so we like really like t-shirts, and we want them to be up to our standards, and we kind of bougie with t-shirts,
Hey,
you know, but hey,
that's fine.
We got our regular Cantina logo right here, guys, and it's that same tri-blend. Okay.
I should have worn my t-shirt today.
It's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you. Guys, once again, Patreon, we love every single one of you guys. Dude, Patreon people, I'm going to apologize to you on here. I have like 2 episodes ready to come out just for you guys, and we're still having a problem figuring it. Like, the way that we release it now is we have to release the audio version only to YouTube, which is private, and then we give them an email link so that they can listen to the whole thing.
Right.
Because our episodes are so long, you can't. It's over the limit for Patreon. Like, so we can't upload it to Patreon, and they can't listen to audio only version. It's ridiculous. But anyway,
That's so dumb.
it is. But yeah, Patreon's not the best site. Hopefully, you know what? Apple iTunes just came out with a like support creator thing, just like Patreon. Maybe we move to that. I don't know. Me and Justin got to talk about it. But guys, we are a Cantina podcast. So we're going to go into the Cantina right now.
Welcome to Concon's Cantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
Roberto, this week me and you are drinking the same thing. Why don't you tell the people?
yes.
Why don't you tell the people? Because it's just me going to hype myself up if I talk about it, okay?
Well, it's an old-fashioned.
Yes.
Of course. A little bit on the sweet side, which I like. I definitely like.
It's a little bit on the sweet side for you.
For me.
Because you like
For me,
that.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
With cherry on top.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
cherry
I
on
like
top.
it.
Yeah.
It definitely, you feel it going down for sure. But this is a drink that if you had a long week, sip on
Hey,
it.
we both had long weeks. We both had long weeks. So shout outs to the Casual Kid, our Cantina Splicer, one of the admins in our Discord. Get in the Discord, guys. Go to our Linktree.
What are you waiting for?
Invite is there. That's where we talk about Bad Batch spoilers. We talk about, Loki is over, but all the Loki spoilers. We have a new Halo Infinite channel.
Can't wait for that one.
Pokemon Unite. We've been talking about all that in the Discord. And the Casual Kid is the one who turned me on to Benchmark. Benchmark is a whiskey that is bottled and distilled by the same distillery as Buffalo Trace. And it's extremely inexpensive. For sipping, it's okay, but to mix stuff, it is really, really good. You get a whole handle for like $16.
Really?
And
$16.
When we're done, I'll let you just taste it straight.
Yeah.
It's very cinnamon-ish on the back end, which I tend to steer clear of, but there's enough.
Oh, I love cinnamon sours.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to say it definitely doesn't overpower, but I love a good old-fashioned. Old-fashions to me are always a 10 out of 10. I think Mandos would think it's also a 10 out of 10.
Hands down, Mandos would be drinking that all day if they could.
How many Mandos?
10 out of 10.
There we go.
There's no other number. If I could go higher, I would.
Yeah,
Totally
if there were more Mandos that didn't get kicked out of the covert,
Well, a lot of them ran away.
they
Little
ran away.
punks.
There wasn't enough old fashions. That was
No, there
actually
wasn't.
that was the problem.
Yeah.
That was actually the problem.
Who cares about the Beskar? Where's the old fashioned?
Yeah, exactly. Guys, let's get into it, okay? Once again, Bad Batch episodes 12, 13, and 14. Once again, we apologize for kind of being behind, so hopefully you find this episode enjoyable, and we got the chemistry going, we got the bromance going.
Absolutely.
You have working arms.
Oh yeah. Look at this. Can you do this?
Wait.
Can you do this, Justin?
Yeah, he can't
you
do that. No, he can do that.
Can he? What can't he do?
Lift something heavy.
All right. Let me. Hold on. This,
We'll find something heavy later.
find something heavy.
We'll find something heavy later. Guys, episode 12, Rescue on Ryloth. Now, you said that what's your, for me, this was like a 6 out of 10 for me. I think this was one of the better episodes, but it's still a 6 out of 10. There's some things I like, some things I didn't like. For me, it's 6 out of 10. What about you?
For me, it would be a 7. I am giving it a bit of a high rating because of the nostalgia for me for Rebels and stuff like that.
Yeah, for
That'll
sure.
always get me. So I would give that a 7 out of 10. But I mean, I didn't need it.
Yeah, the reason why I go with the 6 is this to me was almost just a complete continuation of the last episode.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that the episodes separated themselves enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
But like I'm saying, so last week's Bad Batch episode obviously introduced the fan favorite Twi'lek, Hera Syndulla, which was super awesome. In this episode, Cham and his wife, they're still Imperial captives at this point. And of course, the Empire is doing all that they can at this point to find Hera. They need to complete the Syndulla family, right? They need to get them all together so that they can they need to defeat the people. That's what they need to do, because Cham the people love him, right? And that's going to be their biggest enemy.
He was by their side during the whole Clone Wars, so absolutely, he has that image and he has that authority to be able to just rise up against the Empire if he sets it up.
Yeah, and that's basically what he tries to do. So as you heard in the sound bits at the beginning of this episode, Hera, her parents have been captured. She sends a distress signal to Omega specifically, but of course Clone Force Omega to Clone Force 99. And despite the resistance from Hunter, this is like a theme that we've seen, is every time they get something that they got to do, and we're going to get to this in episode 14 as well, Hunter is always looking out for the good of the group. And so he's kind of like, I don't know, like maybe we shouldn't do it.
Especially when he views her as Omega as a daughter.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to put any of him, her, or the crew in danger. So he's kind of hesitant, but of course they answer the distress call. After finding Hera in the old base that was Cham's, the plan of attack is the Imperial refinery, right? So to break her parents out of prison, they need to create a distraction.
Right.
So that distraction is the Imperial refinery. And of course, Chop is back. Is Chopper just not the Chopper
He's
or
the
R2?
best.
Chopper or R2 right now. Right now.
Now? It's going to be R2.
Keep one, kill one. Yeah, just up the stakes. Keep one, kill
I'll
one.
kill R2.
See? It's you keep Chop, right?
Yeah, I keep Chop.
You keep Chop. I know.
His personality. I love R2 because since childhood.
Yeah.
But there's something about Chop's personality that it's just like so unique. So
I'm glad that you said that, because I'm going keep R2, kill Chop.
Really?
Dude, R2 is okay, Chop has saved a lot.
Yes.
But dude,
and I love his attitude towards things. Like he just
he's got the little He's got the little crab arm. It definitely gives him personality. But R2 is saved so much Rebel butt and Anakin butt. And
if it wasn't for R2, a lot of the war would have been lost a long time ago.
Oh yeah, there's a whole thing about how the Star Wars saga is basically carried on the back of droids.
So for those who are listening, please don't hate me for choosing Chopper. I have my reasons, okay?
Dude, it's a straight 50-50. I don't think if we did an actual poll,
it's very difficult.
It's difficult. It's difficult. So
why would you do that? That's so evil.
Did I mess you up? I threw you off.
Emperor of you, like.
Listen, I'm going R2. Okay, Chop is cool, but Chop is old. R2 is newer. He's an astral droid. How'd you get so lucky? Come on.
That's true.
That's true. This is the one part that I didn't care for in the episode. Hera came up with the plan. I think that Hunter is too smart to listen to a 12-year-old Twilight girl.
Absolutely. She's very inexperienced.
She's very inexperienced, but
she can't even fly a ship completely like she does in Rebels.
Dude, I really liked her flying a ship, and she ends up doing okay.
No, yeah, but what I mean is like compared to her experience in Rebels versus
of course.
In this episode, for her to come up with the whole plan like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, she's a grown woman in Rebels, and in here she's a kid, so it makes sense. It was a little bit like suspension disbelief for me, where it's like Hunter's like, okay, let's listen to the kid. Yeah. I wanted Hunter to do a little bit more, but
he has a soft spot for Omega, and then like he's been lately like, I want to make her happy kind of thing.
No, you're totally right. And like you just said. So Hera wants to pilot, and so they go with this plan to destroy the refinery. And of course, the refinery is built with these big giant guns, and they got to kill the guns. Usual Star Wars video game mission type stuff.
Yep.
And of course, the plan goes awry, and the way that Hera overcomes this is they're able to get in one of these transport ships, and she herself starts piloting, right? So Clone Force 99 is split up at this point, and Hunter is on planet, or Crosshair is on planet. And Crosshair, of course, is given he's given point. He realizes that they're there because they get seen by the Imperial probe droid, right? So the Empire is alerted to their presence. Dude, can we just...
That was an awesome scene.
I did like, dude, he stabbed the eye.
He totally did Assassin's Creed style. Like,
it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. So he kills it, and of course, they're recognized, and they know that Clone Force 99 is here, which... We knew that was going to happen. Like that wasn't anything. You could
surprising. Totally like not even watch the episode. Know that it was going to go to that.
Yeah, it was going to go to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So once again, the point is to destroy the refinery for a distraction while the rest of Clone Force 99 infiltrates the Capitol building to extract the parents, right? That's the whole point. Captain Hauser. Captain Hauser is the clone dude with the teal. Super, super cool art. And that dude's got the coolest clone hair ever.
Absolutely.
Coolest clone hair. Give me your Hauser thoughts. How much are you bringing this guy to dinner and picking up the tab?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
I'm telling you.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to dress.
Yes.
He likes the colors I like.
Uh-huh.
You know, my
Yeah.
wife's favorite color is that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that he might just.
I think your wife's afraid. You and Hauser, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You know.
This ring is coming.
Hauser stealing the show again. Hauser's just one of the coolest things. I don't think after this episode we're going to see him anymore. Let's just skip to basically what we see the last of Hauser before we get into the rest of what happened in the episode. So they're trying to escape. They finally have the parents. That's the rest of Clone Force 99. Hunter, Echo, and I wanted to say Crosshair. Hunter, Echo, and Tech. My goodness, my favorite Bad Batch member. I almost
How
forgot
did you forget that?
Tick. It's because that's why. Tick. It's Tick. Yeah. Anyway, so Tick. So they got the parents, and Hauser tips them off that they're going to be ambushed outside, the gates. You can't go this way, blah, blah, blah. At this point, Crosshair has basically told the Empire that the Empire's underestimating Clone Force 99. They have a full battalion on planet, so the Admiral, man, what is his name? I thought that I wrote it down. I don't see it in front of me. I'll find it later. But the main Admiral that's in these episodes, he basically brushes Crosshair off, and Hauser tips them off, and they're able to escape via the shuttle. Then Hauser confronts. Did you find it?
Admiral Rampart.
Thank you, Rampart. I knew, and it was something like whose name in their last name's Rampart. Come on, where did that come from? Is that Outer Rim? Like, what is that?
It's gotta be some fanboy over there for Outer Rim or something.
Call
like
up a Rampart. I don't know. That sounds weird. Anyway, that guy's a douche. Can we agree?
Absolutely. Yeah,
super douche.
That's his role. He's an Imperial.
Dude is, because we should have Admiral Tarkin too at this point. And I was kind of expecting, to my knowledge, Rampart is a new character to this specifically, and they've done such a good job with tying in other people, and we've of course already seen Admiral Tarkin in Bad Batch also, and he hasn't been promoted to Moff and all that, so we don't know of anything else with Rampart. So I'm wondering if Rampart also kind of goes down with the Bad Batch.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, something like that, right?
We don't really see him at all after that.
So Hauser confronts all the other regs and stands up and basically gives his total ideal about what they're doing is wrong. The Empire is evil and everything. Some of the clones lay their weapons down, and they're all taken away as prisoners.
Now, I wanted to talk about this scene because a lot of people have asked me this. It's like, aren't they supposed to be like with inhibitor chips and stuff like that? And got to clarify, those inhibitor chips were meant to follow orders against the Jedi.
Yep.
That was the main thing about that. So they still had some form of free will. Just like in the last episode before this one, they were having, what's his, I forgot his name. But he was...
Crosshair?
The clone.
Hauser. Hauser. Yeah, Date Night. We're calling him Date Night. Captain Date Night.
Captain Date Night.
Yeah.
So,
I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet you. I'm Date Hauser.
Yeah, he found it difficult to obey orders with, kidnapping a child and putting them in prison and all that stuff. So
I can't remember who brought it out. I think it was the casual kid, and I could be mistaken. Somebody pointed this out to me, and I didn't realize this. The inhibitor chips, and this could be wrong, but I like this theory if it's not, they have to be charged.
Yes.
And if you notice when they put Crosshair kind of like under the needle, they charged his inhibitor chip. And just how like the droids in Star Wars, the separatist droids in particular, the farther they go into the war without their memories getting wiped, they start developing personalities.
Correct.
Same thing with the inhibitor chips. If they're not strengthened, charged, whatever you want to call it, their line of morality is closer to straight than curved.
Right.
Kind of like Crosshair's is. And I think that also proves true to Crosshair's also kind of needing to be recharged, which when we get into episode 14, I'm hoping
that you'll
his
see
redemption
that
or
his
something.
redemption of some sort. Like he starts kind of loosening his
Because I'm
grip of
surprised he
that.
didn't kill them on sight.
Right.
Like, take them away. You know what I'm saying?
There's some scenes in the previous episodes that you see Crosshair. He starts kind of like thinking about his actions, but then again he goes right to his orders. You know, especially when it involves his brothers.
Yeah.
So he's like, so you can see that the inhibitor chip needs to be constantly charged or amplified, so that way they can not build that conscience.
Yeah.
And that's why on this episode, those clone troopers, they didn't bother with them.
Yeah.
They put their weapons down when they said, hey, this is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and so to continue the episode, of course, Clone Force 99 gets away with the Syndulla parents. They are then all reunited. The entire Syndulla makes it out and plans to organize against the Empire. They realize that they cannot stay on planet and fight the Empire. Great move, and obviously this is where we get reintroduced to them in Rebels. I don't think we see them for the rest.
I don't think we're going to see them again.
Yeah,
we kind of know the story. We know that's going to be, the Syndullas, they start the rebellion against the Empire on their planet.
Yeah.
Because Syndulla never goes outside of his people.
Yeah.
Helping. And then Hera's like, you got to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The Empire's everywhere. And that's where she's going to end up leaving eventually after she becomes a full-blown pilot. But we're not going to see that because people know that.
Yeah, exactly. And so they get away, and of course that is the entirety of this episode. And then we get one final key point, and that is, which also the reason why I give this episode a 6 out of 10, is we finally have Crosshair asking permission to hunt down Clone Force 99. Was he not doing this the whole time?
Like, yeah, he was. But ever since Rampart was like, no, you need to focus on my plan.
Yeah.
He kind of took him away from the focus of, the Bad Batch.
It was just weird to me. Like, he asked for permission. I get chain of command, and he respects that. Good soldiers follow orders. I get that. For him to visually say that 12 episodes in fell a little bit flat for me, because I was like, bro, what are you doing the whole time? Like, bro, get it together. Like, like, what were you do? Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I know, because that's exactly his main mission.
That might be my own expectations compared to.
But I mean, if you look back at the episodes, his main mission from every episode since he lost control of himself and that inhibitor chip became active, even more amplified.
Yeah.
That was his mission.
Yeah.
He was going after them.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I just want to see a little bit more of that. But, of course, he is given permission granted to hunt down Clone Force 99.
It's rude to barge into one's office unannounced. This isn't your office. Guess again.
Ruby?
She's my prized pet.
What are you doing with her?
I paid. Sid delivered. And where is Sid? Sid's out. This parlor and Ord Mantell are now my territory. But if you're looking for work, I might have use for you.
Episode 13, Infested. Give me your rating.
2.
Yeah, I'm 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
This episode was butts. It was butts.
Just because you slap Star Wars on it don't mean it's going to be good all the time.
Yeah, this I'm sorry, this episode was bad. It was just bad.
Me and my wife were watching it and we're just like, that's it? Like, where were you going with this? Nowhere is where we're going.
I'm sorry, it was just bad. And I don't say that with a bad attitude. Oh, I hate Star Wars. The whole Bad Batch is
everything
ruined.
is ruined because of this.
Blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't good.
Nope.
Nothing of any importance or relevance happened this episode.
It was a filler. Naruto fillers are better than this.
Thank you. Tell the people.
Yeah, if you watch Naruto, you know they're notorious for fillers.
Yeah.
You could be watching like their adult life in the main storyline.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the next episode shows them back as a kid, even though you've seen all those episodes.
Yeah.
But those had more depth and storytelling.
Yeah.
Than this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad.
So let me give the recap, and it's very, very brief. After, of course, returning from their last mission, they go to Sid, who has crucially left details out, as always, to discover that her office, planet, and cantina have been taken over by the son of a crime boss who is trying to make a name for himself by joining the Pikes. This is numerous mention of the Pikes. This is now the second time we've seen them. I think their alien, like their avatar of like what the Pikes, I think they're pretty cool.
I like them.
I would love to see a Pike Jedi or something.
I'm very proud of my wife for this. Shout outs to my wife, Jessica. She was able to call out the Pikes. Like, they're talking about the Pikes, like saying by name and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is why I married you.
This is why I married you. Pardon my chomping. I'm eating the cherry from my old fashioned. The Pikes are back, and his name is Roland.
Get a little closer on the mic so you can hear each other.
Little ASMR. So Roland,
ears.
Did that get you? Yeah, I know, dude. I can't do the people chewing. I'm sorry, listeners. Anyway, the guy's name is Roland, right? And Roland is trying to make a name for himself in the crime syndicate, and he's planning on doing this. Of course, he's taking over Ord Mantell, and once again, we're back to the spice. Spice has been a huge thing throughout Star Wars. We've also had spice in the Clone Wars previously with the Ahsoka and the Martell sister arc, and we revisit it. And long story short, we have the same story of having spice and losing spice, except there's a lot of bugs, and we get the spice back. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I could tell you this whole episode before I was watching it.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as it started, I was like, I know exactly where this is going.
So instead of talking about the rest of this episode, because there's nothing else to talk about, let me tell you about how this could have been better, which it could happen more. So he gets his horn cut off, like at the end, right? And I swear, and I tried looking it up, and I couldn't find anything. I swear we have seen this guy, this species, with a horn cut off.
My wife said the same thing. Like,
I know I've seen him somewhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Now, we have seen this species in the beginning of A New Hope in the Cantina scene. It's the same species. It's also the same species that we see in Mandalorian season 1, episode 6, The Prisoner. So
he's a Devilronian.
Devilronian. We've seen them before.
He was in that species was on Rebels too. The one that
Rebels too.
Yeah.
But this one specifically with the horn cut off, and it might just be.
What's his name?
Roland. His last name's Roland. Or his first name. So Roland is trying to solidify various spice smuggling routes through Ord Mantell is the specific note. And of course that is in with helps with the Pikes. This is one thing that I think could make this episode better. And we haven't gotten this, and we have to get something because the fandom overall has been clamoring for this. This needs to somehow tie into Solo 2. Whatever aspect we get of Solo 2, that's kind of where I thought we were going. Because in Clone Wars, we've already seen Dryden Voss. So Maul, when he's controlling the crime syndicate, we see holographic.
Yeah, where he's in the sewage system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's where I kind of thought that we were going for this episode, getting an overall arcing, more connective tissue into Star Wars, whatever, especially Solo 2.
Yeah, because they usually like to connect the dots with those characters. Like, you bring that. There's usually a purpose for this.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was really no purpose.
Yeah. It was really weird. I mean, that's literally all I have to say about the episode. The cart system was a little cheesy to me, a little bit too kiddie. I felt like I was watching a Disney ride. I felt like I was on Snow White's ride at Disney.
Indiana Jones kind of scene, like with that kind of action.
Yeah, it's not that. You know what? I'm gonna change what I said immediately. Throw everything I said out the window.
Okay, we're throwing it
all out the window.
Here's the window.
Throw it out. Wait. Let me get the camera.
Hold on.
All right, throw it out. Throw it out. Open the window.
Back here.
Yeah, I know. Listen, don't judge me. Anyway, we're throwing it out the window because of one thing. This episode would have been good if it was episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Yeah. Why is this episode 13?
Yeah, that's a lot of people's concern about this episode. When I spoke to some of my friends, they're like, why aren't we like close to the end?
Yeah.
Like, why are we wasting our time with something like this that could have been earlier on? Like,
placement of this episode was very, very weird. It's like a lot of people don't like the Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2 Spider episode, but that episode has its place as the second episode. If you were to put that closer towards the end, you'd be like, what the crap is going on? Like, why are we getting this?
Yeah.
So, final thoughts, and then we can just wrap this episode up.
Honestly, I don't have much to say about this episode other than that I wish it wasn't like this late on.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I really don't have much other than that.
Yeah.
We're being hailed. It's Rex.
Hello, boys. Sorry to cut right to it, but I could use your help.
What do you need, Captain?
I received a distress signal from a clone trooper, but I'm a bit tied up at the moment to retrieve him.
You want us to recover a reg?
He's an old friend, and he's in trouble. I need you to get him out.
Out of what, exactly?
Can't talk right now. Sending you a signal. I'll be in touch.
Episode 14 of The Bad Batch. Finally, a new breath of fresh air, especially after the last episode.
Yeah, especially.
Especially after the last episode. So, episode 14, to wrap up this episode of Konkon's Cantina, War Mantle. This is a little bit more of an in-depth episode. I think there's definitely more to talk about. So, I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10 right off the rip. What about you?
I can't go any lower, especially this definitely a 9 out of 10 in my opinion, especially after the last episode we got.
Yeah.
So I really brought it up, and I feel like there's now finally progression to this story.
Yeah, definitely some progression to the story. Let's get into the quick recap. Of course, we have this dark and gloomy opener, which actually this is one thing that I didn't mention about the last episode that I did like. I got like a horror film type thing in the last episode with Infested, with, you know, kind of like this whole monster thing. And then in the beginning of this episode, we have the clone that's running. And I feel like we have this, again, this reoccurring type of like horror film being chased
Almost
in the
felt
woods.
like a Predator scene. Like this guy's running away from.
You know what it's making? This whole planet that they're on in this episode gives me Endor vibes.
Oh, absolutely.
And remember when Battlefront 2 has the reoccurring thing where you can do the stormtroopers versus the Ewoks at night?
Yes.
That's kind of what.
What was one of the emotes that you could do? Like a stormtrooper music.
Yeah, he's just crying.
Yeah, like it's one of the emotes because you're just like, oh no, I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
from
what do you
furry
do?
Teddy bears.
Yeah, exactly. So we come to find out that this clone that is fleeing, this is obviously who Rex wants the boys to get back, is CT-5576, which is Gregor, by the way. Gregor is a clone that we see later in Rebels. He's one of the ones that was also a captain, and he meets up with Rex, one of the ones who... I don't know. I can't remember Gregor's story exactly if he didn't fight back towards the clones, but basically he came to his senses, like Rex, and realized that the Empire's not for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he didn't. He was like, and that's why he didn't teach, because he does say, he's like, hey, you train these guys? He's like, well, I'm not going to train him everything. You know, I'll just show him everything I did here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely one of those. I love him. I love his personality.
His kind of like.
He's got
speech
like
impediment type thing.
Like and he kind of has like a tick.
Yeah.
You know?
Tick?
Tick?
Yeah. He's got like Tourette's for clones. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how swole this guy is?
You said that when we were watching it.
Dude, I'm like, compared to the other clones,
yeah.
This guy's got rolls.
Listen, my dude's benching.
Yo,
okay?
he's benching.
He's benching.
But he also is a commando.
He was, duh. Yeah.
He's
I forgot he says that in this episode, right?
He's special forces.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
Uh-huh.
And that's where they kind of come together too, because he says, oh, you're CT as well, you know, defects because 99. And that's something we were talking about too, is the CT marks the first generation. Did we both agree on that? Because it seemed like that's what it was. Because Rex is also a CT.
Yes, he's the first gen.
Yeah, first gen.
This doesn't necessarily mean that they were in the first battle of the Clone Wars, which is Geonosis.
Yeah.
Because Rex was never there.
Yeah.
But he's still considered one of the first gen clones.
Yeah, exactly. We go back to Camino, and we have Admiral Rampart and Crosshair basically talking about the overall plan, right? Like what the plan for the Empire is, and Rampart at this point tells Crosshair that they're going to keep an eye on the Kaminoans. Prime Minister pretty much realizes at this point the jig is up. The Empire has canceled their contracts. They're looking to outsource their clones. He says, you know, don't worry, other planet systems saw our success with the Republic. We'll get other buyers, basically. And then he makes a plot to get off of planet. And at this point, until we saw the new stormtroopers, I thought that we were actually going to get that scene that is the Battlefront 2 cutscene where we have it's called Brother versus Brother. It's a short film based on, there's a comic book. I'm sorry, I always say Battlefront 2 because I thought it was Battlefront 2. It's not. But basically, it's supposedly based on the same engine. But you've seen it. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, so for those who were talking about Battlefront 2, we're not talking about the new stuff. We're talking about 2005.
Yeah, the OG
2,
Battlefront 2.
Original Battlefront 2. And there's a story mode that you played in that game, and you get through pretty much the beginning of the Clone Wars towards the end of the to the Imperial era.
Yep.
And that was one of the battles you would play as Brother versus Brothers too, because it was just like clones coming back, which they said it was a 501st that came back to take out the Kaminoans.
Yeah, so basically the Kaminoans realized that the Empire was evil, which we see that in this episode.
I don't think they realized they were evil. They were just like, oh,
their agendas don't align.
They're cutting our contract.
So they create clones to rebel against the Empire, and the Empire sends a whole battalion of clones who's led by Boba Fett.
Yes. And this was the battalion of 501st.
Yeah, this is EU stuff to fight the other clones, and it's brother versus brother. I need to do a reaction video where I actually watch it and put it up. It's pretty emotional for me, to be honest.
That game story mode. It's very emotional because you get to play, which is something I wish they would have done in the newer games, but that you get to play Order 66. You know, and you're pretty much hearing the narration of the clone. I think it was not Rex. Cody. Was it Cody's voice?
I mean, they're all the same voice,
but I think it might have been Cody.
Yeah.
But that you hear his voice, and he's pretty much narrating his experience from the Clone Wars into the Imperial era.
Yeah. And so at this point, once again, kind of this recurring thing that I was talking about earlier, Hunter is hesitant to take on the mission. He's got to think about everybody, not just himself. And I love this part where Echo basically calls back to his experience on Skako Minor, where he said, I was just one clone and you guys risked it all for me. And if it wasn't for you, I'd still be there. So if the only intel that we have is that this guy is in this Imperial base, we have to go get him.
Yeah,
right?
and in reality, that's how that episode in the Clone Wars was. It's like they had no information, just a possibility.
They were led by Anakin too,
though.
I
mean, yes, but I mean, it's like they only had.
But I get what you're saying.
Because even Anakin was like, it could be anyone, or he's definitely dead. Because even Anakin was like, I don't know about this.
It was Rex.
It was Rex that was pushing.
Yeah, it was Rex that was pushing. He knew that it had to be Echo. And so with Echo, who had previously been rescued, Echo, of course, pushes them to further into the base. And so they do. So Echo, Tick, and Hunter proceed into the base. Now, as they're going down this elevator, there's something that I pointed out to you.
Yes, and it gave me the goosebumps.
Music starts, and this is by far my favorite part of the episode. Now, I'll let so go ahead with it.
Okay, so I didn't really notice off the bat, but you've already seen the episode before I had.
Yeah.
So you were like, pay attention to the music.
Yeah.
And as I was going through, because obviously they're going into this base and it's an Imperial base, so it's starting to look
Imperial.
This is not clones,
or
ships,
Kaminoan.
Technology, none of that. It's Imperial.
Yep.
So everything is changing to that era, and you definitely see it in that base. And the music as they're traveling through and fighting off these stormtroopers, I'm like, I recognize that.
Yeah, you do.
There it is. It's a New Hope scene. They play that same music in the Death Star when Luke is trying to rescue Layla.
Starting with Obi-Wan.
Well, starting with Obi-Wan, yes.
Starting with Obi-Wan.
Because Obi-Wan is creeping around and whatnot, trying not to get caught.
Dude, yes.
And you hear that music. It's. I mean, I don't know if you can find that scene just to play a little snippet of it.
I'm going to try.
Yeah. But, I mean, it really tugged on my... I was a kid again. Like, watching the scene. Like, that's how excited I got for it. So excited for that scene. And I was like, finally, they're bringing something in from that. Here it is. Listen closely. Even the background noise of the radio.
It sounds Imperial.
It's all Imperial.
Of it.
Anything. This encryption's new.
I gotta go back a little bit. It's this one right here.
Right here. Oh, so good.
This way. Dude, it gets me every time.
Yeah.
And that's like right when you have those two stormtroopers talking to each other, and Obi-Wan uses the Force.
Yeah, they're talking about, that new speeder that's out.
Yeah, dude. It's like, do you remember in Fable when you could take a stone in Fable and Xbox and you could throw a stone and people would look that way?
Back.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or like in Assassin's Creed,
same thing. Yeah, it's all
there.
Dude, all this the sneaking around, like Splinter Cell type stuff.
Obi-Wan does it. He goes, "What's that?
What's that?" Oh, that's nothing. Yeah, exactly. Dude, it was sick. This episode was definitely just a step in the right direction. So as they're infiltrating through the base and what you just heard, Echo then plugs into the terminal. They start scanning the base for information, and they find out that they have dispatched over 1,000 TK units. And even before that, they recognize that the uniforms have changed. These are not clones. And we see clone commanders for the first time. Dude, where's the special force from the Commando game?
I don't know whether.
Dude, where
one
they
of
at?
them.
Where
I
they
know
at?
one of them was in the Clone Wars series, and we thought he was dead and all that stuff. So
yeah,
we know that at least about him, but the rest of the guys, I don't
Delta
know where
Force.
they're at.
Delta Force. Who wins, Delta Force or 99?
Ooh,
who wins?
99.
You think
100%.
so? Like every time?
Yes, because even though Delta Force is to be reckoned with, they still kind of followed procedure.
They also don't have
they don't have defects.
They don't, because 99 is almost like superheroes.
Yeah, they have special abilities.
But who do you like better?
I would say I like better. Why do you do this?
I like Delta Force better.
I love Delta Force, especially. It's just nostalgia to me.
Dude, the game is so good.
The game is. I've played it recently when they remastered it.
I got it on the Steam sale.
Yes.
Is that when you got it? Yeah,
that's the one I got it.
Yeah,
and it's just like I love Delta.
Dude, that game I think was like super ahead of its time. Like the ragdoll effects, like just Delta Force.
Delta Force.
Delta Force.
Oh
yeah.
My goodness.
I need to make a Bad Batch shirt for sure.
Yes.
For real, but sorry, I keep putting you on these like choose.
Yeah, it feels like life and death situation.
Yeah, it is life and death, because if you answer wrong, I'm going to kill you. Anyway. And of course, they find Gregor. They rescue him. They then go through the rest of the facility. Very A New Hope-esque. Han Solo and Chewbacca running through the Death Star, trying to get to the Falcon. I absolutely loved this episode. Why do they keep using stuns?
Good question.
I'm sorry if you have
rape.
headphones. Yeah, because I might have just... You're deaf now. I know. I'm sorry.
Deaf. Thanks. I don't understand
why. I can't, like...
Dude, they find out, first of all...
Yes, and I didn't even talk about this.
The reason why they were using stunts, because it was their brothers.
Yeah.
Right? But they confirmed that this is not their brothers anymore.
Oh, let's real quick. I pointed this out to you. If you were confused on the design of those stormtroopers, that is the original Ralph McQuarrie.
What a great way to pay homage.
Dude, super sick. This is exactly how, if you look up Ralph McQuarrie stormtrooper on Google, you'll see these images. The original way that stormtroopers were portrayed, and how we are led to believe this is actually how Lucas pitched this to Fox when he was originally coming up with Star Wars, is they had these big riot shields and they had lightsabers. Like, that's where the idea of the lightsabers came from, is they were crowd police, whatever.
First. That was the first design of lightsabers that you would see, and George was like, oh, I like that for the Jedis, you know? And now that we see these guys officially in canon, this armor variant,
first generation,
that's
what you said,
first gen stormtrooper armor
for sure. Yeah. So this could be, dude, people are going to cosplay this.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a 501st. People are going to start 3D printing
the
this armor.
501st always does all the armor.
Of course they're going. Yeah, of course they're going to. So while they, of course, have finally gotten Gregor, Wrecker and Omega are waiting in the Marauder, which is the name of their ship. They're waiting patiently. Of course, Hunter finally calls up and tells them, hey, we need an extraction. They get their escape plan, and as they're escaping, unfortunately, Hunter does not make the jump, and he falls almost to his death.
That was incredible the way he survived that.
And I think that this is a point, because Gregor specifically says you wouldn't make that jump because they're at the top of the mountain.
Top of the mountain.
Hunter does. And that kind of goes back to me and you saying Delta 99. Like, dude's like a superhero.
Yeah.
So he survives, and of course the episode ends on an amazing cliffhanger. of Hunter being captured, and who, of course, is going to walk into his cell? Crosshair. Yeah, Crosshair walks in.
What a great episode.
What did you think about Crosshair walking in to his cell and all that?
I wasn't surprised. I was actually waiting for it. Because I know for a fact Crosshair's going to use that, his capturing him, as a bait to get the other. Because, he says, I'd rather have the whole crew,
Yeah.
So he's going to use,
I figured you'd show up.
Yep, that's the scene.
I was hoping for the whole squad.
Yeah, the whole squad.
But you'll do.
So that leads me to believe that he's going to use him as a way to bait the other guys.
Yeah. I wonder, too, if I was hoping for the whole squad, but you'll do. Maybe, because I really want a redemption for Crosshair. I don't want the series to end on Crosshair being the bad guy.
You know how you mentioned very early on someone has to die?
Oh, someone's always got to die.
There's going to be the next 2 episodes, because there's only 2 episodes left. Which is like, oh. But someone's either the whole crew or someone's going to die, and that's going to be Crosshair's redemption somehow.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the spoiler that I told you about. So, if you've made it this far in the episode, I believe that this is the information that I'm going to tell you of where it's coming from is 100% true. Whether this is what happens in the show or not, I don't know. So if you do not like potential or actual spoilers, this is the point in time where you need to exit off this episode.
You have been warned.
Yeah, because this is definitely going to be the end of the... Well, I mean, that was the end of the episode. We gave our rating. We both loved the episode.
Yep.
So, giving them a minute.
Yeah,
okay, now that people who, don't care...
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to Kill Key Factory for sending these screenshots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you what it's called. In the Star Wars Heroes game by EA. It's a
very popular game.
Very popular game. This is the turn-based strategy game that's Star Wars. It's on the marketplace. Very good game. I actually I'm currently taking a break from the game. Very good game, though. Played it for a very long time. When big legacy characters come out, you have to go through all these missions to unlock them. You then have to have certain characters to unlock them. For example, to unlock Thrawn, you had to have all of Phoenix Squadron, and they all had to be level 4 stars or higher, right?
It's a pretty OP character.
Thrawn is really, really good in that game. Suitless Vader. So, Revenge of the Sith, Order 66, fighting Obi-Wan, Vader was just released in this game.
Mm-hmm. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. So, we have Vader in the suit, who's also stupid OP in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. And then we have Suitless Vader.
Which means unlock Revenge of the Sith, Jedi Temple, walkthrough, Order 66.
Exactly.
You see Anakin with his blue lightsaber.
At
that point, he's considered. Well, the moment he bowed down to the Emperor, and he gave him his name, that's when he became Darth Vader.
Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth
Vader.
Yeah, exactly. So, to unlock Suitless Vader, you have to have Clone Force 99.
That's got to mean something.
I think it means something. I think that we see Vader, because at this point he does have a suit at this point, because we've already gone past the
Order 66.
We've already gone past Order 66. We've already gone that. So at this point, the battle on Mustafar should have already happened. So we will see suited Vader, but I think that we actually see Vader by the end of this.
Oh yeah.
By the end of this.
There's no way that they have to bring it in somehow.
Yeah, I think we'll get a tie into that somehow.
Yeah, because the Admiral's going to somehow fail. I think he's not going to last.
Yeah, Rampart.
Yeah, Rampart.
Yeah, he's got to maybe die. And that's how maybe Tarkin doesn't have any competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
like
Tarkin
that.
only comes in, it's only involved in like the big stuff,
Yeah.
Like rebel cells, whenever their governors or whatever can't handle it, or the admirals can't handle it, he'll come up. Whenever a Jedi is involved, anything like that, and Tarkin is involved.
He's definitely involved. But everybody, thank you for joining us this week at Konkon's Cantina. Of course, I was your host, it's Konkon, and sitting across from me, Roberto. And guys, thank you once again. Check out all of our social media, Linktree. It's in all of it. Guys, thank you very much. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a review on iTunes. 5 stars.
Follow.
Guys, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys next time.